You have another card once. They both come up. Once they come up. As soon as she hits that gavel, they're gonna.
Good evening, everyone. We're ready to begin today's meeting at 5:33 p.m. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. De La Vega? Ms. Garcia Robles?
Present.
Ms. Perez is absent. Mr. Rodriguez?
Present.
Mr. Tundidor? Absent. Mr. Zogby?
Present.
Mr. Junco? Absent.
He's here, but
He's here?
somewhere.
Madam President, you have enough members to conduct business.
Okay, moving on to the invocation led by the city clerk and pledge of allegiance led by Councilmember Rodriguez.
Lord, we pray for your guidance and direction and benefit of those who live and work in the city of Hialeah.
Everybody please face the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Meeting guidelines.
For the record, Mr. Junco has arrived. All lobbyists must register with the city clerk. As a courtesy to others, please refrain from using cellular telephones or other similar electronic devices in the council chamber. A maximum of 3 speakers in favor and 3 speakers in opposition will be allowed to address the council on any one item. Each speaker's comments will be limited to 3 minutes. No signs or placards in support of or in opposition to an item or speaker shall be permitted within the council chamber. Any person, whether participating via web platform, telephonic conferencing, or physical presence at City Hall, interested in making comments or posing questions on matters of public concern or on any item on the agenda may do so during the meeting. Members of the public may address the city council on any item pertaining to city business during the comments and questions portion of the meeting. A member of the public is limited to 1 appearance before the city council, and the speaker's comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Individuals should be respectful of the elected officials and staff that are on the dais and make every effort to speak with a moderate tone using appropriate language and avoiding personal attacks. Members of the public in the audience shall refrain from shouting or making remarks from their seats to the mayor, council members, or staff sitting on the dais. The public can view public meetings on the city's YouTube page.
Okay, thank you. Comments and questions. Do we have anyone registered?
We have one registered speaker, Daniel Cornejo.
Hi, welcome. Name and address for the record, please. You have 3 minutes.
My name is Daniel Angel Cornejo. And my address is 955 West 74th Street, apartment 109, Hialeah, Florida 33014.
Go ahead.
What do I speak about?
Oh, you registered to speak. I don't know.
Oh, I registered to speak about the change of name change. Earlier this year, I called Hialeah City Hall for changing my name because some people had difficulty saying my last name, Cornejo. And on February 25th, the judge granted my new name to be Daniel Angel Carter, which is what I wanted. And then my parents' reaction was against the name Carter. And someone told me that if I change my name, I lose my Hispanic identification. The last name Carter is of English, Scottish, and Irish origin, which means that it's not a Hispanic name. which means that my name is not a Hispanic name. Once I get my ID from the DMV, when I get my ID from the DMV, I become Daniel Angel Carter, even though I already have the court order. I changed my last name to Carter for two reasons. One, because I personally love it, and the other one because some people had difficulty pronouncing my last name, Cornejo. My can I say one more thing? Even though it's just a timer.
Go ahead.
Okay. My thanks goes to Hialeah City Hall for taking me to the right direction, which was to the court to get a court order in order to change my last name. I love my new last name, even though despite the backlash.
Thank you.
Here we go.
Anyone else?
No other registered speaker, ma'am.
Okay, moving on to presentations.
None. None.
No, okay. Announcements of amendments, corrections to the agenda.
Report of Scrivener's error, item 13B has been added to today's agenda.
Okay.
Yes, this is a Scrivener's error, and it's a particular legislation where the state requires us to have a certain phrase in there about its effective date. It's not a substantive change. Nothing in the legislation changes. The address, the action, everything stays the same. It's just a procedural section we have to add. So yeah, please, besides acknowledging the Scrivener's error, let's execute that so it can be submitted to the state. It's a small-scale comprehensive land use plan amendment. Thank you.
Moving on to board appointments. Item A.
Proposed resolution appointing Javier Collazo as the mayor's representative to the Board of Trustees of the Employees Retirement System for a 2-year term ending on December 31st, 2026.
Okay, no, okay, pleasure of the board.
Motion.
Motion by
Good
Zogby.
man.
Did you second, Rodriguez?
Second.
Oh, okay, second by Junco. I thought I heard a motion from him. Okay,
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Robles?
yes.
Mr. Junco?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Okay, item B.
Proposed resolution appointing Humfredo Perez as a member of the Defined Contribution Plan Committee as the mayor's appointment.
Motion.
Motion by
Second.
Rodriguez,
Second. You needed one? Did somebody?
second by De La Vega.
Sorry. Okay. Then third.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Robles?
Yes.
Mr. Junco?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Okay, moving on to consent agenda. Would anyone like to put an item? I would like item P, to pull item P. P.
I'm sorry.
No, it's P.
That's right.
No, it's okay. So we have a motion by
And
Rodriguez
second.
and a second by Zogby.
Motion by Rodriguez and a second by Zogby.
Mhm.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Robles?
Yes.
Mr. Junco?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Motion carries. The consent agenda has passed except item P.
Okay, I don't know if anyone that's here in the public, is here for any of the street namings that we were passing. All the street namings have passed. No sé si tengo que decirlo en español. Oh, okay,
No, no.
okay, item P.
You were here?
Proposed
Sí, ya pasó, los nombramientos de calle ya fueron aprobados, ya pasaron. Okay. Sí,
¿Cómo no? No, usted.
item P.
You want to say a few words?
Yeah.
You want to say a few words?
¿Quisieran decir algo? Anyone want to say a few words for any street that was named? You can go ahead, see. El botoncito.
Yeah.
Tengo que
Ella-
felicitar a la...
Ella le va
Yo te voy a
a
traducir
traducir.
mientras
Ah,
tú hablas.
perdón. Quiero felicitar a la ciudad de Hialeah porque va a cumplir 100 años, ¿no?
I want to thank the city of Hialeah as they're going to be 100 years old.
Y después darle las gracias a los comisionados,
And also
al
give thanks to the
alcalde,
council members,
a
the mayor,
María,
Maria,
a todos los que de verdad se han preocupado por nombrar la calle esa a los familiares de los presos políticos.
and everyone that has worried
Que el
about
alcalde
naming
mejor
the
que nadie
street name.
sabe lo que pasó, su familia con su papá.
The mayor knows as with his father.
Había que pensar en aquellas visitas. Es un ejemplo simple.
It's a simple
Cuando se
example.
iba a Isla de Pino, había que ir en un ferry
You would have to
que
travel
no
on
tenía
ferry.
motor, era remolcado y el viaje demoraba entre 12 y 16 horas.
It would take 16
Los
hours to
familiares
travel.
iban ahí hacinados, ahí no había asiento, no había cama, no había nada.
The family members would have to travel, no water, there was no beds, no anything.
Cuando se llegaba a Nueva Gerona, que era la capital de Isla de Pino,
When you
para
arrived
ir a
to
la
Verona, you would have to
prisión,
go to the prison.
ya las autoridades de aquellos tiempos, los comunistas que estaban ahí,
Now the
ya
authorities, the
regulaban el
communists,
transporte.
would handle
público o
transportation,
privado.
public or private.
Los familiares tenían que ir caminando cerca de 1 kilómetro después de
family
haber
members
hecho
would
una
have to
travesía de
travel
16
over
horas
about 16
para ir a la
hours
prisión.
to go visit the
Mujeres,
prisons.
Espérese un minuto cuando está hablando para dejarle a ella traducir, por favor. Pare brevemente,
Sí.
unos segundos para que ella pueda traducir.
como
Gracias.
mujeres, con sus niños y sus jabas, personas mayores, enfermas, y después que tenían que pedir a lo mejor algún alma piadosa que en un camión la llevaba ya a la prisión.
Women,
Pausa.
children would have to wait for trucks to take them
Right.
to those places.
Después había que esperar el tiempo que quisieran los guardias de la prisión que pasara esa familia a la visita.
Then you would have to wait for those guards to
Se podía
travel
extender
those
2
families.
horas más, posiblemente.
You would have to wait about 2 more
Pero
hours.
lo que nunca esa familia nuestra mostraron una cara de tristeza ni una queja.
But never did our families show complaint or any sort of negative face.
Fingían una sonrisa y después para regresar era el mismo martirio.
They would fake a smile and same thing for them to come back.
Por eso esa calle es en honor a esa familia, que repito, como la familia del alcalde Bobo, que sabe todo el sufrimiento que todavía no termina, porque empezó en el año 1959
This is why the
todavía-
street naming is an honor, because like Mr. Bobo knows
y,
this
to-
is-
y todavía continúa.
and it still continues to this day.
Por eso, más que gracias, le damos de corazón los que estamos aquí, los compañeros que están aquí, que vivieron esas etapas.
This is why we give so many thanks. Everyone that's here has lived those stages.
Y como siempre, molesto al alcalde para hacerle una segunda petición, ya que está aquí la comisión,
And like always, I
Para-
rather
para el
the
día que
mayor-
escoja la inauguración de esa calle, que vayan todos invitados, pero si pudiera, otro ruego, que nombrara ese día también el día de los familiares de los presos políticos de la ciudad de Hialeah.
So the day of the inauguration, if we could name.
Muchas
that
gracias
day,
y
the
desde el
day
fondo de mi
of the
corazón,
prisoners.
gracias. Y en nombre de Dios, gracias.
Si puede, su nombre y su dirección, por favor.
El
para
nombre
recordar.
mío es Ramón Couto, 902 Northwest 132 Court, Miami, Florida, 33182. Y viví 30 años aquí en Hialeah.
And I lived 30 years in the city of Hialeah.
Bueno, muchas gracias otra vez. de
Gracias.
Thank you
corazón.
so much.
Gracias. Okay, moving on to item P.
Proposed resolution of the mayor and the city council supporting Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' Executive Order 2544 and the establishment of the Executive Office of the Governor, Department of Government Efficiency Team. The city of Hialeah proclaiming its intention to fully cooperate with the state of Florida's EOG DOGE team and submit to a state financial audit for the city to engage and lead its own DOGE initiative by continuing to conduct its own financial audits, and hereby authorizing the mayor or his designee to fully cooperate on behalf of the city of Hialeah.
Thank you. Okay, so just A little bit of a background. We had a press conference today regarding this resolution. It's basically letting the governor know, the state know that we are open to them. We're inviting them actually to come and audit our finances, letting them know how committed we are to being transparent. So I would kindly ask for everyone's support on this item. And I think it would be something good for the city because they would actually help us. If there's anything that we can adjust or change, although the city already has its own Hialeah Doge, it would be good. They might give us some advice on different little things that maybe can be tweaked, and they can probably also help us on a little problem, a little situation we're having with a water reverse osmosis plant.
So, yeah, just before you vote on it, and I want to thank the council president for sponsoring the resolution. We've heard a lot of Doge at the federal level, and the state now wants to also kind of engage. And so we sent a letter today that the governor's office has already received, where there's a couple of items that they've asked us to identify, and we've gone ahead and answer. But just to take it a step further, we welcome their participation. We've asked all the directors, to, receive them with open books and open arms. And if they could help identify areas that we could do better, by all means, we want that input. But just to be, keep in mind that what we do, the service we provide, is not the same service that the state provides. It's not the same service that the federal government provides. So, it's important to understand what we pay in taxes here per capita is lower than any other major city in the state of Florida, and definitely here in South Florida, it's the lowest per capita. The millage rate has not gone up. None of you, best to my knowledge, have a police escort wherever you go. And these are trappings that maybe other cities get involved in that we're not in the city of Hialeah. So as we coined this phrase of Hialeah Doge, we've probably been doing Doge here for the last, 30 years, basically. And, we'll continue to operate in that same fashion, despite the challenges that the city may have in retaining police officers, retaining firefighters, recruitment of such, upkeep. All of you have heard this already now for the last couple of years here. Some of you have lived it, like Councilman Zogby as a police officer. He knows it. He understands, we don't do thrills and frills here. We just provide basic service. So we enthusiastically, we're probably the first city to go ahead and take up the offer from the governor. We've already engaged their office through this letter, and I think it's really a great opportunity for all of us as elected officials to engage in this dialogue and to let them know that here in the city, we believe we do good service and do it at a great price, but we're still open for suggestions on how to improve and do it better. So, obviously I'd ask for all of you to endorse this. The letter's already been sent, but we still need your support just to engage.
Motion.
Well, we had a motion by Rodriguez and now a second by Zogby.
Mr. Junco,
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Robles.
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mr. Zogby.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Okay, thank you, all of you. Moving on to administrative items,
None, ma'am.
unfinished business or new business. Okay.
Pursuant to section 3.01 of the city's charter, the mayor calls a special meeting of the city council to be held on Tuesday, November 18, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. since both regularly scheduled meetings of the city council to be held during the month of November have been canceled due to holidays.
Okay, no action has been taken on this. Okay. And then item B.
Report of Scrivener's error pursuant to section 30-31, agenda of city council meetings of the city of Hialeah Code. The city clerk shall correct Scrivener's errors that are discovered in ordinances, resolutions, council minutes, and staff reports, and promptly report all corrections to the city council. On March 11, 2025, the city council approved ordinance number 2025-027, amending the future land use element of the city of Hialeah comprehensive plan to increase permitted units per acre on properties participating in mixed income affordable housing program. Ordinance number 2025-027 is being amended in that section 5 shall be replaced in its entirety.
Okay, moving on to zoning.
Like,
Could be a ceremony later on for the map. For the street, there's gonna be a ceremony another time for. Que va a haber una ceremonia después para ellos.
They know we call them.
Another-
Will all those persons who will be testifying on an item please stand and raise your right hand?
Las personas que quisieran prestar sus opiniones delante de esta junta, por favor, pónganse de pie y alcen la mano derecha.
Do you swear or affirm that the evidence you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? If so, say I do.
¿Usted jura o afirma que el testimonio que va a dar será la verdad, toda la verdad y únicamente la verdad, y que Dios sea tu testigo? Por favor, digan que sí si la respuesta es afirmativa.
Let the record reflect that all have responded in the affirmative.
En el archivo público constará que todos han respondido afirmativamente.
Okay, moving on to land use amendments. I believe there's none.
None, ma'am.
Okay, zoning, item 16A.
Second reading and public hearing of proposed ordinance rezoning property from R1, one family district to R2, 1 and 2 family residential district, granting a variance permit to replat the property into 2 substandard lots and to allow the construction of a duplex on each substandard lot, having a frontage of approximately 42.08 feet or 42.01 feet and a total lot area of approximately 4,205.38 square feet and 4,064.29 square feet, where the frontage of 75 feet and a total lot area of 7,500 square feet are required. Variance permit to allow the following setback adjustments for west lot. Allow a front setback of 22 feet where 25 feet are required. Allow an interior east side setback of 0 feet where 7.5 feet are required. Allow rear setback of 14 feet where 25 feet are required. Allow 43% coverage where 30% is the maximum allowed, and allow 2 parking spaces where 4 parking spaces are required. Variance permit to allow the following setback adjustments for the east lot. Allow a front setback of 15 feet where 25 feet are required. Allow an interior west side setback of 0 feet where 7.5 feet are required. Allow 36.3 lot coverage where 30% is the maximum allowed, and allow 2 parking spaces where 4 parking spaces are required. All in contrast to Hialeah Code of Ordinance Sections 98-1601 subsection B, 98-1834 subsection A1, 98-2189 subsection 1, and 98-1630.3 subsection E2. And in contrast to the City of Hialeah Landscape Manuals, Section E. Property located at 560 East 7th Avenue, Hialeah, zoned R1, one family district, and legally described herein. Repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, this item is on second reading. It's open for the public. If no one, it's the pleasure of the board.
Motion.
Motion by
Yeah.
Councilmember De La Vega,
I'll second that.
second by Councilmember Zogby.
It's pretty.
De La Vega and Zogby?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Robes?
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega? Yes. Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Mr. Junco?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Okay, congratulations. Item 16B.
Second reading and public hearing of proposed ordinance approving the closure, vacation, and abandonment of the right-of-way portion for public use of north half of the adjacent 12-foot alley lying south of the adjacent to Lot 1, Block 125B, and amended plat of the 13th addition to Hialeah as recorded in Plat Book 34, page 26 of the Public Records of Miami-Dade County, Florida, encompassing approximately 237 square feet, were more or less contingent to the relocation agreements with the City of Hialeah Public Works, FPL, AT&T, Florida City Gas, Comcast, and as depicted and legally described in Exhibit A, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, this item is also on second reading. It's open for the public. If no one, pleasure of the board,
Through the chair.
you're recognized.
Deborah, what, is this your, where exactly is this? I'm looking at the backups now and I see lots and plots and,
There were storage,
by the brewery.
yes,
Yes, gotcha. Now I remember.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Somebody motioned, I
Yes.
second.
Okay,
Yeah.
motion by Rodriguez, second by Zogby.
Ms. De La Vega? Mr. Rodriguez? Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Mr. Junco?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Robles?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Okay, moving on to item C.
Second reading and public hearing of proposed ordinance granting a variance permit to allow 23 parking spaces where 27 parking spaces are required. In contrast to Hialeah Code of Ordinance, section 98-2189, subsection 2. Property located at 920 West 84th Street, Hialeah zoned M1 Industrial District and described in Exhibit A. Repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, this item is also on second reading. It's open for the public. If no one, pleasure of the board.
Motion.
Motion by Zogby. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Rodriguez.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Mr. Junco?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Robles?
Yes,
Ms. De La Vega? Motion carries. The item is approved.
Thank you very much.
congratulations. Item D.
First reading of proposed ordinance rezoning properties from C2 Liberal Retail Commercial District to C3 Extended Liberal Commercial District. Properties located at 2000 Palm Avenue and 2090 Palm Avenue, Hialeah Zone C2 Liberal Retail Commercial District and legally described herein. Repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, this item's on first reading. Welcome, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, Madam President, members of council. Jerry Proctor is my name, attorney, 7600 Red Road, South Miami. Madam President, this is an application of rezoning from C2 to C3 for the purpose of erecting a new Murphy gasoline station and convenience building. This property already contains a gasoline station, but the zoning, which was in effect when the station was built in 1959, has changed along the way and needs to change again to C3 to accommodate a new station. This is a property between 20th and 21st on the west side of Palm. We're proposing a 6-pump station with 2,200 square foot convenience building. The area around it has considerable commercial and compatible development and also some industrial. And as I said, this is a C2 to C3 request. We have the support of your staff without any reservations or conditions, and we're obviously pleased with that. We think this is compatible with the area. Obviously, 21st is a very, very busy roadway, as is Palm. So we think this is an ideal intersection for a new facility. We're working with staff on the site plan, and we're here to ask your support and hopefully on first reading, and we will hopefully be back soon to complete the rezoning. We have a plat that will be in front of you at some point also. So we'll be here a few times, but if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. Thank you.
Through the chair.
You're recognized.
Mr. Proctor, yeah, this gas station's been around since 1959. I just found out. It's a landmark here. It's a technicality. You got to change the zoning because you're improving it. So now it's going to be a gas station like it always was, except a lot prettier. So I motion for it.
Okay,
Second.
we have a motion by Councilmember Zogby and a second by Junco, but 1 second. Did you want to say something, Rodriguez?
No, 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 no.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Robes?
Yes.
Mr. Junco?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved. Second reading and public hearing is scheduled for April 8th, 2025.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night, sir. Final decisions. Item A.
Proposed resolution approving the final decision of the Planning and Zoning Board, decision number 2025-02, allowing a rear setback of 15.41 feet where 20 feet are required for an existing addition to be legalized. Property located at 681 East 12th Place, Hialeah zoned R1, one family district, and providing for an effective date.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening. Name and address for the record, please.
Yeah, Taimi Sotolongo, 681 East 12th Place, Hialeah 33010.
Okay. Okay, does anyone have any questions for her?
Deborah, can I, you don't have to move from there. We're gonna bring the zoning director up here. Recommendation with approvals. What is this again? So I don't have to go into the backups. My computer's a little slow.
Sorry, this is a house that is in the corner, so it's like in an irregular shape. So they have additions that they have to legalize, and because of the odd shape of the lot and the position of the house, the only way to be able to do that is with this setback variance. So the recommendation is approval with certain conditions that will be proffered in a declaration of restriction.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm a motion.
Motion by Councilmember Zogby,
Second.
second by Junco.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Robes?
Yes.
Mr. Junco?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Thank you so much.
Good night. Okay, item B.
Proposed resolution approving the final decision of the Planning and Zoning Board, decision number 2025-03, allowing an interior north side setback of 4 feet where 6 feet are required for an existing addition to the primary building to be legalized. Property located at 217 Northeast 9th Avenue, Hialeah, zoned R1, one family district, and providing for an effective date.
Hi, good evening. Name and address for the record, please.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas.
Good evening.
Mi nombre es Alida Casanova.
My name is
Dirección
Salida Casanova.
217 Northeast
260
9th Avenida,
Northeast.
Hialeah,
What was it? 9th Avenue, Hialeah, Florida.
33010. Estoy acá porque el mes pasado yo estuve aquí enfrente al juez y me dijeron que viniera para la resolución, no sé,
I'm here because I was in front of the judge and they told me to come here for some resolution
de algo que se hizo en la casa ilegal.
as to what was done to the house in general.
Desde el 2018 llegó la carta y por motivos ajenos, por la pandemia y por el dinerito que no tenía, contraté a personas que me hicieron
Since
un
2018, the letter arrived and because of COVID and I
Eh,
hired other people to,
Estoy acá enfrente a ustedes para ver qué solución tengo para quedarme con lo que se hizo ilegal y lo que no, pues hay que removerlo.
I'm here to find some sort of solution to what was done to my property and to reach some sort of conclusion with you all.
Okay, you translate for me.
Yeah.
La resolución dice remover el lado norte, una piedrecita parece que tienes puesto,
Los ladrillos que puse.
sí,
Sí,
y un canopy, que es como un techo.
un techo, sí, señor.
Ok, eso lo tuviera que remover.
Muy bien.
Tiene que reducir un carport, algo donde parquean los carros,
Otro techo.
El techo,
Sí, es
el
otro
techo,
techo.
el techo.
el techo
Sí.
de los carros. Sí, tiene que, a ver, tiene que demoler una estructura que tienes aparte.
Una casita atrás donde para las cosas que cuando hay un huracán uno las pone allí
Ya.
y etcétera,
Un shed.
etcétera.
Sí, y tiene que obtener permiso para el driveway que tiene adicional la estructura principal, la casa principal.
Muy bien.
Through the chair.
Ya, usted sabe que esas son las condiciones, ¿verdad?
Sí, me las dijeron que, pero tenía que tenerlo, no sé.
Sorry,
Yeah.
just to translate what was said in Spanish, Council President, Garcia Robles, acknowledged the conditions which were removal of the north side, canopy and pavers to reduce the carport, demolish the rear detached structure, and, did you read the last one?
Yeah.
And obtain building permits, for the driveway and the addition to the main structure. And she asked, the applicant if she understood what these conditions were.
Estaba traduciendo lo que usted dijo, básicamente. So when she refers to a judge, is that she came before code
Yes.
enforcement and there are certain things that she needs to correct. There's a code enforcement case since 2018. And the main problem is a structure in the back that was used as an illegal unit.
Okay.
So what we worked out with the plans that she brought is that she will legalize things that are attached to the house. But the rear structure will be demolished because this is an area that is all single-family homes, so there are no duplexes. When the applicants come to the Planning and Zoning Board, we read the application in English and then we read all the application in Spanish and we make sure that they understand the conditions. So she is coming here now because they told her your case will end when you go to City Council, and the conditions are there because sometimes people think that they come here and that's it. So
Yes.
to make sure that then they need to go and to pull the permits to finalize the
Yeah.
legalization.
Yeah, that's why I was telling her to see if she understood, because she's saying, I want to see what I can keep and what I can't. That's why I was reading it to her.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Director Schwartz. Maybe I'm like a broken, but I just didn't quite grasp that she does understand what she needs to do. Did she say that? I
I
didn't.
think so. Usted entendió lo que tiene que hacer, ¿verdad? Las condiciones de todo.
You
Okay,
understood
all right,
what you need
okay.
to do, correct?
Okay, so what's the pleasure of the board?
Motion, with the conditions.
A motion
Yeah,
by
motion.
Councilmember
Motion.
Zogby. Do we have a
Second.
second? Second by Junco.
Mr. Zogby,
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega, Ms. Garcia Robes,
Yes.
Mr. Junco,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Motion carries, the item is approved.
Ya, fue aprobado. Gracias, que tenga buenas noches. Okay, well, that's the end of
Too
it.
early.
Well, do we have a motion to
Yes,
adjourn?
Motion. First,
So
second.
meeting adjourned at 6:10. Next council meeting Tuesday, April 8th at 5.